Hello. All right. So, let's settle the first thing first. Do we have sound?
You have sound. I need to
I
see if people have
don't
sound.
know yet because for me it's still taking
Testing.
Yeah, we have sound.
All right.
Yeah,
Good. Oh, that's one good news. The other good news is that I've finished the battle map and we are maybe going to test it later on. Hopefully, sounds works for it too. All right.
my gosh.
Yeah, I'm hearing the vibration right now.
I know. I'm
Yeah.
trying to fix
Okay.
it.
Okay. All right. So we get my d20s.
Hello? Okay.
All right.
Oh my god, I almost forgot.
Oh, that's a good thing that we took this time. All right. So I hope that everyone who is currently watching is doing well at home. I know that the situation has been getting worse for almost everyone around the world. And, well, for those of you here watching us, I hope we're gonna be able to let you forget a little bit about this. And, well, hopefully give you a good time. Alright, so, for those of you who are returning, welcome back. For those of you who might be new, it is a pleasure to have you with us. As for those who are returning, it's always important to say things in the right order, because if you don't, it might not mean the same thing. So, for those who would like to have a small recap because they missed prior episodes or want to rewatch something that they liked, so far, every episode that we've had, with the exception of one that had severe technical difficulties, can all be found on YouTube and on our Patreon. The last week episode can still be seen here on Twitch on the VOD. And if you want to support us, you can do so by following us on Twitch, Twitter, Patreon. You can even write to us. I've left an email at the bottom if you're trying to contact one of the players, not necessarily me or the channel as a whole. I believe that on the D&D Beyond overlay on the side, there are Twitter or email account address for each player. And if you want to support us financially, because I would appreciate it extremely, as I have just learned that I am not going to work before June. So, if you want to support us, there's always donation, and you can become a Patreon. Unfortunately, I am not an associate with Twitch yet, so becoming a member does not help me at all. Alright, so I believe this is everything, all of the shameless promotion. Let's continue with this campaign. So, last time, our party members survived an encounter, at least, let me rephrase that. Last episode, after surviving an encounter with a bounty hunter, the party started talking about what being hunted meant for the group, as this was not the first experience for most of the party members. But as they all pondered this and the day went on, they decided to take advantage of the fact that a construct was driving their cart, so they all decided to keep on rolling throughout the night, make a little bit of headway to get to the gathering as soon as they could, possibly find new allies. And so they all decided to sleep in the cart. And this being the first time that they all slept together so close, and after surviving something slightly traumatic, especially for Eldon, they all shared a new dream, very different from the one that they've had so far. Maybe even a little bit traumatizing, as when they all woke up, they all went silent and started collecting their thoughts, each in their own way, until, again, Eldon broke the ice and started to share the dream. And so a long discussion started about what this could mean. And, well, what this could mean for now and for what is to come. As the day ended, they discovered, well, not discovered, but they were overtaken by a caravan manned by... It's a little bit weird saying manned by elves, but... An elven caravan going to the next village on their way to the garden. Next village being the village where their new friend, Siv and Iselina, will be leaving them, as they are taking another path to one of the capital cities in the north. And so we rejoin the group a few moments after the caravan has overtaken them, and a few hours, maybe 5 or 6 hours before reaching the next village.
All right.
And so you can all, if you want, decide to start by answering the question that was asked by your kind halfling friend just before the episode ended. And how are you all? And then we go back to all of you. And it would appear that the answer is a long, awkward silence.
Sounds
Sorry. Yeah, I'm writing notes.
That's all right. That's all right. Those who should be talking are audience, Valtteri, and Fisher.
Yeah. I am personally, well, just had some, strange dreams, but I'm personally feeling fine.
I just kind of waiting until we get there. It's these dreams are starting to throw me off, and I'd like to get off the road.
Well, we're almost there.
I have a strange feeling of watching a class with teenagers when the teacher says how are you, and everyone just
ignores them.
They're just waiting for something to happen.
It's that first period class and nobody's awake yet.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, in this case, it would be last.
Yeah. Or right after lunch.
It's like the 10 minutes they're still waiting to finally get off of school, and then the teacher starts talking to them. They're like, "Oh God, please no."
No, but I once had a art history class. I had it at least once last period on Friday, and at least once first period on Monday. And since it was mostly shown on a huge white wall, the lights were dimmed. So it had basically the same effect. Everyone just kept having trouble staying awake, and either the first period of the week or last period of the week. Fun, very fun.
Well, I'm interested to see where this leads.
Agree.
All right, and as
I'm sorry, I'm just zoning out.
Everyone just nods their head and like, yeah.
But those elves were rude. Didn't even say hello.
I mean, except the little kid.
Yeah, the kid.
Yeah. We will.
So,
Fisher, you're muted.
Thank you.
No. I just saw your lips moving and like,
Yeah.
probably muted.
he's a construct. There was a malfunction in his voice synthesizer.
just hit
You
it.
just saw him.
So, with going here, and noticing that there's probably going to be a lot of adventures going to be going. How do you guys think about maybe picking up a few more to join our merry men?
I mean, wasn't that the plan?
Well,
We'll have
I'm talking like, are we looking for specific skill sets to join us?
Oh.
I think of the moment we should just see who would be interested. I mean, I think we shouldn't be. I mean, I'm very open to like letting most people in, but we should also be wary that not all might, have the same. We still don't know what this gathering necessarily is, although we suspect it's for adventurers, but many different adventurers have many different motives, and we should be aware of that.
Doesn't mean that every one of them is good.
Exactly. Some have some deeper meanings about what they're doing. But we could take it with a grain of salt. Prospect, look around, talk to people. That's one thing I'm really good at.
I'd agree.
And
I say we take it slow, and because like the dream mentioned, we should be wary going forward.
yeah. Well, if we do, I think we have enough frontliners, honestly, for fighting. Maybe a few more backliners. One or two.
Mm-hmm.
Or maybe we could just make an army. Like 60 people. We each control like 10. 10 plus.
Uh-huh.
That would definitely be a different kind of campaign. And if you really want a war campaign, you should have told me. I could have made one.
And I don't think that so many people would really listen to us.
Well,
That would be so complicated.
oh, it really
Way
would
too
be.
much to keep track of.
Just to keep all of them like not hungry and not thirsty is already gonna be a challenge.
Oh, yeah. Well, I'm thinking that we look for those people that are a little bit skeptical of this, like we are, not wholeheartedly invested.
Good idea.
Because if they're really invested, that might bite us in the end. They believe everything that these dreams are saying. They have to get it.
I mean, I don't think that it was just the four of us who got the last dream that said that we should be aware of the people who are kind of gathering us.
Yeah. In the
Or
dream,
the person, who knows?
to confirm, the dream said that basically where we're heading can help us grow stronger. Just don't trust it fully,
Yes.
or don't rely on it.
So
Yes.
Okay.
maybe it also means that we shouldn't trust everyone that is at the gathering.
Well, it wasn't
Like-
the place; it was the figure.
Yeah, the hooded man.
Yeah.
And I don't know if anybody else got a connection with the hunter god, sort of like the bounty hunter was.
Like that, the hooded man is figure is connected, or
Yeah, connected to the hunter god in some way.
Yeah.
the dream warned that they could always be found in its shadow, or something
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah, that's how it was stated. And all those different planes. Maybe scenes of upcoming places we're going to be traveling to.
Potentially, but I'm
Or
not going to read
places-
into it too much.
The hunter god has influence.
Yeah, it spreads far and wide. Okay. Well, it's going to take some time to get some people to get there and figure out a plan. First, we got to get there.
Yeah.
Civ does interfere with what you're saying at this moment, and he just says, and I believe your druidic friend made a good point. Maybe you should try and see if others had the same dream you had last night.
I'm
Well.
smart.
To confirm, we're gonna get to the next town about like evening-ish, correct?
No, actually, the next town, you're going to get there early in the morning.
Okay.
Right now, the sun
still works out.
is almost completely set, so you're going to go through the entire night. Just like here, toward the northern part of the world, the closer you get to the summer, the shorter the nights are. So.
Okay.
And then, how close will that town be to where we're trying to go?
You're trying to go to the next town. It's almost a full day of walk.
Okay.
Not long.
So technically, if you spend this night sleeping, you could always arrive at the next village and just start walking from there, as if you just woken up in this village and keep on going, and you'd get there inside the day.
Yeah, sleep in the back of the cart
Yep.
while we're going up to it in the morning. That'd work. Well, I have an idea too, because we're so close to it. We're bound to have other adventures at the tavern. We can sit down, grab something to eat, keep an ear out.
Not a bad idea.
We don't need food.
It's more for informational purposes than actually needing to sit there and eat. To keep an ear out on the other adventures and what they're talking about and what they speak of while sitting there jovial with their other members.
I'd say
Or we could always find another weirdo like me.
there are plenty of in the world. Eldon, I'd say make a Constitution saving throw.
9.
9. Well, right now, you don't feel any problem, but looking at your Constitution score, this is the last day that you're going to be able to go without eating, without starting to suffer exhaustion. So probably right now you're trying to struggle a bit so that the other party members don't hear from time to time your stomach growling.
Okay. Yeah, I planned on eating at the tavern or having a good berry at the tavern once we get there.
If you're gonna eat it for once. I mean, the one I gave you for that day, you still have it. It should still work. It's not day over yet, so...
Yeah. But
Just-
Eldon's a weirdo. Habit from childhood. He just he just doesn't eat at times. But
Oh,
he can
I
make
know
it
some
look more
people
nice.
like that.
Oh,
I do it
I am a
IRL.
person like that, and it's actually the first thing that the doctor said when I talked to them about my little weight problem. They started to explain to me how skipping meals can make you gain a lot of
Doesn't work.
weight. So
Oh, yeah.
maybe you should consider that Eldon might have a little problem, a little weight problem, or had one. He's a halfling after all. You know, they're prone to eating much and skipping meals. A halfling? Good lord!
How dare they?
You didn't have your first breakfast, your second breakfast, and then the
Third breakfast, important of all.
well, this one is more of a snack, but still, it's very important so that you can go on to dinner. All right. So, you all prepare to sleep for the night.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right.
Yeah.
Fisher, you can sleep or you can just stay in your sentry mode. I admit that the last few sleeping experience that you had might have been a slightly traumatizing, so
Yeah, I think I'm gonna stick to sentry mode
just for a little while.
this night.
So, Fisher positions himself so he can watch the back since Civ is watching the front. And everyone else just scuttles up inside the cart. And I'll go to sleep. And you wake up in the morning with nothing new happening. It is not a very comfortable sleep, and you basically slept 6.5 hours, or you're at the minimum required time to get a benefit. And it's sort of like trying to sleep in the bus. You know, it's enough to be rested, but you're gonna be a bit sore, and you really need to stretch. But the night went well. You weren't woken up by anything. Fisher, I'd say make a perception check just for fun.
Forgot to pull my dice out. Here we go.
You're playing Dungeons and Dragons and you didn't take out your dice?
15.
15. You didn't see anything very special during the night. It was a very normal night. You did get to see a shooting star, but that's it. And you are woken up by the first light, and as soon as Civ noticed that some of you are starting to move and wake up, you do hear him say, "We are arriving in less than an hour."
Thank you, Civ. Always watchful.
It is the only way to stay alive.
Agreed. So, how are we gonna do this? After we split off with Civ and Iselina, you want to sit at the tavern for a little bit while all the other people that are heading the same way, wake up, eavesdrop a little bit, or you guys want to keep moving forward?
It'd be good to hang out in the town for a little bit.
Yeah, let's hang out a bit. See who's around.
Okay. Yeah, there's like still a couple of days. Like we don't have to leave immediately, do we?
No, you have 2.5 day reserved if you want to stop for a day or do anything. It's 5 miles outside of Grass Hill, so 5 miles is an hour, maybe 2 hours of walk.
Okay.
So, like I said, you have technically 3 days, but because of I give you half a day of walk to get there, 2.5 days. So yes, you can stay there very easily.
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
The call was sent a bit over a month ago, so there is always the possibility that you're among the last few to arrive also.
Mm-hmm.
Might mean there's nowhere to stay there. Everything's already booked up.
Well, festivities are starting in 3 days. It's still just a village where you are, so you see that, of course, children are already up as the cart starts to enter the village. Children are already up. Some of them are playing. You can see a few boys running around in town with sticks in their hand and just doing war. You see a few girls laughing at them, some of them giggling at them. You know, there's a mix. And some of them are having their own fun. Well, medieval fun. I don't have a lot of pictures in my head about how children had fun during the Middle Ages, but
They were playing with their corn husk made dolls.
no. But I know that there were a lot of simple made toys. They would play with.
Like
I'm not sure how.
some wood,
Yeah.
something like carved out of wood or something.
Yeah, but they always have different things. I believe that they're called in English maypoles. I think there are those that existed in that time. But throughout history, children have always made things from whatever they could find. They would start to just find a big pine cone and throw it at one another. If it was a game, softly throwing it. If it wasn't, throwing it hard. They would make circles out of a wooden branch. I know how it's called in French, but I don't know how it's called in English. So they're a different thing. And, of course, they're all starting to play. It's very early in the morning. Their parents are most likely preparing to go for a prayer at the village shrine. So they're doing their best to keep busy. And, you know, there's a bit of festivity. Sorry.
Festivity.
Exactly. And there's going to be a few special things to eat while their parents are going to do the morning shopping. And since a lot of shopkeepers know very well that if you can draw the children to your shop, there's a good chance the parent will come. Well, they will sometime try and give free food sample to the children, especially when it's so close to festivities. It's still just a village. It's not a town or a city, so it's a very simple market that's going to be placed there. But still, because of the trading guild. Most of the trading takes place in coins and gold, silvers, and coppers. So everyone can easily buy and sell a few things. So you said you want to go at the inn to spy on whomever might be there. Probably, possibly going in the same direction as you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Other people with coins.
Well, you get inside the inn, and of course you're there rather early, so you don't see a lot of people. There are one or two people. You gather that they are probably those who will be working outside of the village and going out fairly early and for a good time, so they're there for a very hearty meal, almost on the go. Other than that, you do see a few, probably customers, as they're not dressed like villagers. Some of them look like adventurers. You see a human, simply armed and armored. Seems to be wearing a studded leather armor and a short sword. You see two dwarves. One of them is wearing mostly cloth, while the other one is wearing a pretty heavy armor and is sporting a very large warhammer. So, first appearance, probably a priest, maybe a paladin. But right now, that's all that's eating inside the inn. You are, like I said, very early.
Okay.
Siv stayed outside. Iselina will go and buy maybe a few things to eat for her, because their travel, they're still, I think, about a week and a half away from where they want to go. So, and they'll probably leave next morning.
Give her some rest. I get it. Did you say the adventurer-looking ones were up at the bar or at their own table?
Right now, well, the dwarves are closer to the counter, so you could say they are near the desk at the end, the back of the inn. The human is alone in a corner. Doesn't seem to be trying to make eye contact with anyone, and is nervously reacting to anyone passing near him, too close to him. As for the dwarf, like I said, they're at the counter and they've already started their day, so they have something to eat and most likely a kind of alcohol. The two dwarves seems to know each other. So.
You know that trick with a coin, how you take your fingers and you... I can do it kind of, but obviously with an 18 dex I'll be able to do it.
Yeah.
I'm not going to hide it. I'm going to take out the coin that we're supposed to bring with us and walk past the human's table up to the bar. With it just floating around my fingers, obviously showing that I have it.
Right.
But not saying anything.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
Um,
I'll go up and order food and drinks for the table, except for Fisher because he doesn't eat.
you know him. It's not important to him. So, so you pass in front of the human. The human doesn't seem to react. At the counter, one of the dwarves sees you and completely ignores you. He is very enthralled by his drink. The other one does notice you And he looks at you just for a moment, and you hear him say, "Oh, there, little friend. If you play with your money like this, you're gonna attract some bad attention. Someone might try to steal it, especially when there are festivities starting very soon. There's bound to be a few pickpockets in the crowd."
And I'll use a sleight of hand check just to make it disappear out of nowhere.
Go ahead.
What coin? I don't know what you're talking about. 23.
23. All right. Since he's looking directly at you, I'm gonna give him a perception roll. Natural 20. So, so you take the coin and you try and make it disappear, and he says, "Well, that's very funny, son, but I can still see it in your other hand." And you.
Yeah, it happens.
But you were fairly certain before he said "but," you were convinced that you'd succeeded, because that was masterful. And when he said "but," but what? Oh,
dang. Well, it's okay. If somebody's able to pickpocket me, obviously they need it more.
Well, that's a very generous way of looking at the world.
Well, and I'll turn to the bartender. I need 3 meals for my adventuring party and drinks along with it. The druid I know doesn't drink alcohol, so I'll get her like a water or milk. Right?
Water.
Right.
No
Yeah,
milk. Water.
Yeah, water.
All right. So the lowest quality meal, do you buy something a little bit pricier or
Medium-ish.
medium-ish of what they'd serve? All right. So
Yeah,
it's gonna be
like hearty.
yeah. Well, hard. It's still a village. Their version of medium is not the same as in a large city.
Oh yeah.
So it's going wrong column. It's going to be 6 copper for each person.
Okay. 6, 12, 18. So I will flip him. I'll flip him 2 silver.
Elder human at the bar, and elder for Middle Ages anyway, and takes the silver. Oh, that's very generous of you. Please come again anytime you feel like it. And the dwarf, who noticed you earlier, who just talked to you, says, "And I would add to this, may you not meet too many needing people."
No. Help who you can. Best philosophy I can give, and I'll walk away.
The dwarf seemed amused by what you said. Doesn't try and hold you back or anything, so he lets you move away. So, Eldon, you get back to the table. You give Valtari a jug of water. Audience, you get a morning jug of alcohol with a meal. And Eldon, you get your own alcohol and meal. Morning meal.
Okay.
It's very simple. A little bit of bread, something slushy, but that feels very filling inside a little bowl. But it's dense,
As Eldon comes back to the table and hands everything out, I'll go. What? Nothing for me?
Did you want something? I'll be more than happy to pay.
I'm kidding. Can you not read? the face.
No, it's metal. It doesn't change. You're very hard to read.
Why, thank you. I'm still working on the humor part of social interaction.
It gets difficult. You gotta wade the line a little bit. You gotta see when you need to joke, when you don't need to. Like the human in armor that's kind of paranoid in the corner. Not really right just to go up there and crack a joke. Tempting. Funny. But not appropriate.
Alright, so you keep on talking a little bit among yourself, and you do see a few people coming down the stairs. You meet an elven woman, most likely adventurer type, again, leather armor. This one is wearing a long sword. But she's very well kept, very clean. Her hair is very well placed. Her clothes are very clean. So you'd think it's possible that it's a noble, but it's a bit weird that she wouldn't be walking with bodyguards. So maybe an elven bard?
Interesting.
How does her personality look?
Very confident, but not. She's not telegraphing this confidence. It's more something that you realize when you see come in the room. You just watch her carefully. Oh, okay. She knows what she's doing. She's not trying to make sure that everyone knows it. But if you take a moment, she's done this several times before. Yeah.
You said like a bard looking, like a bard.
You'd say bard because of the longsword. Usually, it's not something that rogues will have, just because it's a bit large and it's a bit harder to hide. Because of her armor, she's not a monk. If she is, it's a bit weird wearing armor, because you'd know that they fight better without armor. Because of how clean her clothes are, she's obviously not just coming from adventure, but you've seen enough of these people to know that when bards usually stop in a place and will try to make a show, try and earn money, they will usually change clothes, wear something very clean, but that still says I'm an adventurer. So that's why it makes sense that she would be a bard. She's definitely not a mage because of the armor. Warlock is very unlikely. She just doesn't exude that type of personality when you watch her. There's possibly even some measure of magic used to make her look more interesting that she could normally be. So this sort of equilibrium between being extremely presentable but not flashy, that's more of a bardic flair than any other.
Okay. I'll nudge. Like nudge people's feet underneath the table and gesture over, and say under my breath, "What about a bard? That sounds interesting. We have music everywhere we go."
I'll ask what bard.
I'll gesture over to the elven woman. Well, slightly gesture, not enough to give it away to her.
I'll look over.
You see this bardic, most likely bardic woman, elven, very elven in her appearance, in the sense that elves aren't. Elves seems to have an element of beauty that is hard to catch. It's sort of just a feeling that overcomes you. That wow. But it's not just normal, classic, plain beauty. Like watching a human woman walk in the street, that is beautiful. Elves have something mystical.
Tieflings?
Well, you have something mystical also, just not in the same direction.
All right, I'll nod. I'll say. Actually, you'll see a slight smile. I'll be like, she could definitely be a good addition to the party.
Any other objections?
And of course, Valtteri, you've seen this kind of face on audience before. You believe that he is, again, desiring something other than just a traveling companion.
Not going to be it.
Well,
Well, if the three of you aren't going to... Yeah, I guess we can have her. And our team if she even says yes.
well, audience, will you or shall I? Up to you, sir.
I'll stand up, walk over to talk to her.
If I had more courage, I would do it, but yeah.
Eldon just gonna sit back, grab his drink, and put his feet up and just watch.
Alright, so Eldon, you sit back and watch the show. Fisher, you watch this very weird, somewhat sexual somewhat sexualized interaction. Valtteri, you have a little bit of envy. And audience, do the teenager.
I don't think we should have let him go by himself. But this is just too funny.
Well, I'll walk over, and I will. So where is she, like, right now? Is she sitting down at a table, or is she standing up?
She did take something to drink when she passed in front of the counter, but right now she is making her way to a table near the center of the inn.
Do I see any other people at that table, or does she look like she's going to go sit alone?
It looks like she's going to be sitting alone.
Alright, I'll walk up to her and I'll say, greetings. My name is Audience. You look like an adventuring type. Me and my other companions, I'll point back to our table, was wondering if you would like to come join us for a drink and perhaps some food.
So she looks at you. Just that is a very interesting proposition. And you said your name was?
Audience.
Audience. A very interesting name. And she looks at the people that you've just pointed out to. Oh, very interesting. She looks at Eldon, who is smiling way too much and waving. Fisher, who is looking at everything in a stone face, with his jaw slowly slacking, probably. And Valtariu seems to... Well, I want to ask, are you trying to hold back laughing also as Valtari? No.
No.
What is your reaction to this as you watch this scene?
She's probably like trying to look away, just not getting any. What's the word? What's the word? God damn it, in my head. Not to get noticed really by anyone, just trying to play low.
So basically, you're doing your best to try and be stealthy inside your group.
Yeah.
And so she looks also at Valtari, and with the perception she just rolled, sees right through this effort at not being noticed. And audience, you get a weird look in her eyes when she looks at all of your group and then you again. There's a little bit of confusion after, and she watches you again. That's and why exactly are you being so generous to a stranger?
Why not? Generosity is everything, and as I said, we are adventurers. You seem like an adventurer. You know, us adventurers have to stick together.
5 copper, he's going to talk about the dragons.
Make it 10. I'll take that bet.
No, it was a joke.
You sure? It would be funny.
Okay.
20.
20 Fisher? Okay.
You two
I
get
got
that.
You gonna take whether he does talk about the dragons or don't?
He's gonna talk about the dragon.
I don't think so. He's thinking with something else at this point.
You have no idea.
Agreed.
Yes, of course.
Hilarious to watch.
Yes, of course. Adventurers need to stick together. And I did make a fair bit of adventuring, but as you most likely know, we all need a little bit of downtime, and we also need a little bit of time to, well, refill our pockets. Adventuring does cost a lot.
Are you gonna sing then, or play? I'll point to whatever instrument. I don't know if she's carrying an instrument, but if she is,
I'd say make a perception check.
okay.
Her sword is her instrument.
Her sword is her instrument. All right. That's a 15.
15, that's not bad. You usually do far worse than that.
Listen, I know how to notice a beautiful girl. I'm looking right at her. I'm not distracted right now.
So you make a quick look at her, and you do notice that she has a very beautifully crafted flute in her left hand that is, well, slightly hidden. But she's not trying to hide it. It's not just obviously on the table. Well...
So then, yes, I will say what I'll say, then I'll point to the flute, and yeah.
Oh, well, you are very observant, dear dragonkind. Yes, I will be performing during the day, and most likely tomorrow also. I do need to make a little bit of money before returning on the road. You are more than welcome to come and watch, and... pardon for the pun, but be part of the audience.
I'll give kind of a smile, like, okay. That was a joke. I'll say, very well. Well, me and my party will be here for the remainder of the night, and then I believe we will be heading out tomorrow on the road. We will be headed north. I don't know when you plan to head out, but if if you wish to accompany us at that time, we will be most welcoming.
Well, we'll have to see, but I'm most likely going to be here for another day after today. But who knows? Maybe the wind will tell me to keep on going this very night, and you never know, I might be joining you. But if not, I hope you and your friends will be joining me tonight in here. I will make sure to make a performance especially for you.
Oh, I'll be there. I'll throw a wink and then head back to my table.
See you tonight.
All right, I'll head back to my table.
All right.
Oh, boy.
So who lost the bet?
Was she?
Yeah.
Was she interested in the dragons?
I did not actually mention the dragons to her.
I'll just hold my hand out to Fisher.
I will begrudgingly fill it.
Man, it's
I'll
almost
say-
like I know people.
I'll say no, she's planning to perform tonight. She said she may leave tomorrow, but if not, the next day. I've told her we will probably be leaving tomorrow, and she says that she will see whether she will join us or not. I plan to try and sway her tonight with kind words and perhaps a few coins in her purse.
Cool. Well, I think I'm gonna try those dwarfs. The humans kind of too paranoid for me.
Okay.
Dwarves are easy though.
Oh, definitely.
Watch, learn, audience.
You'll see audience start writing down on the table with marking down how many coins seem desperate versus how many coins.
Shows
Doing
that
some
you're
quick
interested.
See, doing some quick math in his head. 2, 3.
Takes out his dagger, starts carving out in the wood the amount of money.
2 plus.
Okay, I got this.
All right.
So, I'm gonna hop down from our table. I'm gonna walk up to the bar. I'm gonna slap the two dwarfs on the shoulder and be like, "Would you fine gentlemen enjoy a drink with us this fine morning?" And I'll put 3 gold on the table and be like, "Fill up the table."
Well, immediately, you say, would you like a drink? And, well, you notice that you attracted their attention. But the moment that you slap your hand on the desk and that you remove it and there's 3 gold, you get an immediate, well, of course we will join you. That is extremely generous. Nothing like having a good reception in the morning. It just makes you... Oh...
Chipper?
Sure.
Can I leave the tavern, please?
Well, you can if you want to.
I'll take the glass of water and the food and leave the tavern and come.
And so you see,
Back.
as soon as you hear the dwarf accept, you see Valtari just take her drink, get up, leave, looking down inside her mug.
Don't mind her. She's a shy one. There's always one, isn't there?
Yes, especially those of her kind. They usually aren't as shy. But to
Agreed.
each his own.
Yeah. Well, come, drink, be merry. Tell us your stories. Tell us your tales. Which way you heading?
We're actually going south. We're going to meet... well, actually, my fine friend here has a brother inside of the... just make sure... Where's the map? Alright, yeah, south, a little bit west. I'm sure that you've seen it when you were coming here. It's almost in the middle of the human territory. It's huge mountain, isolated, and this does ring a bell as you went by this the day after you were ambushed, you did see this huge mountain and you just went around it and kept on going. At
Interesting.
At the base of the mountain, there's a small cave, but it's actually the entrance to a mine that my dear friend here, brothers, had just acquired the ownership. We're going there to help him. I'm personally there to clean out the place. They've said that there were a few orcs in there. I feel like orc hunting, especially in the beginning of such a beautiful season.
Agreed.
And with you offering us this incredibly generous morning, just as we were talking about this, it just feels like a sign from my patron. And you look, as he says that, he does slap on his shoulder, and when he does that, you see there's a religious emblem there.
Of who?
Dwarven god, so you're not that familiar with them, but you do know shape of a large hammer, colored gold. The name like this, I know it, but make an intelligence roll. See if the name just
11.
11. You know that has something to do about dawn, but it doesn't come back completely. But you've seen it. It's one of the bigger religion, especially for dwarves, and feels like a sign from my patron, from my lord, that this is the right decision.
Well,
And
glad I can confirm that for you.
And I am also glad. And you just take one of the glass and one of the mug and just chuck it down in a single gulp. And that always begins a morning really well.
Very much so. So come, join. Tell us stories. We'll tell you ours. We're heading north, in fact.
Oh, all right. Come on, brother. Let's see what these fine fellow have been doing. You see the dwarves. When are you gonna stop calling me brother? I'm not part of your religion. But, I'm not gonna say anything. It's your thing. Thank you for the drink, sir. And they both come to your table, start drinking. Moment that they see you, audience, the one with the religious symbol says, you look like someone of faith also.
Oh, God.
I hope you're going to drink with us.
I am. And what faith do you follow?
Again, he slaps his shoulder and make a roll. You did intelligence roll. You did grow up in. Well,
wait, no. Well, that'd be not so 19.
Well, all right. I was gonna say you can make a religious roll if you like.
Well, I'll just go with my 19.
All right.
I assume that'll be enough.
Yeah. So it's simply called a dawn hammer. You know it to be a faith belonging. Sorry, to the faith of light. Usually, they will hunt at evil wherever they can find it. And so you'd guess he's probably on a quest to empty out a den of evil somewhere.
Interesting. I will say, the Dawn Hammers, a fine religion of what I know of it.
Yes, we have followers all around the world, and it is one of the beacon of this world. And although he says this, and it does feel a little bit presumptuous to say this, you do feel that he honestly believes it.
Okay. I'll say, my faith you probably do not know much about. I'll hold my symbol, and I'll be like, I worship the dragons as gods.
Interesting.
Which,
I haven't heard anyone else preaching this. Please tell me more.
well, and I'll go into the whole story of Drahasven's teachings and explain to him my whole why I believe that the dragons are gods and such.
All right. So as you say all of this, you get the impression that the other one just listened to you, and he sort of zones out after a few minutes and just enjoy his drink. And the other one listen to you intently all the way until you are completely finished. That is a very interesting religion. I've never encountered anyone before of that religion. So you're in your religion in Estrin or in the island chain?
Yes, I am.
Interesting. I'll have to ask a few of my brothers and sisters to investigate this new religion. If it becomes popular, we sure need to know where it stands in the world, what it will do for the world. Very interesting. But if you are a good representation of your religion, I have a feeling that it is a very good religion, and most likely your Lord is a very honorable one.
Thank you.
And he said that after having made a natural one in an insight check on you.
Okay. That paranoid human in the corner with the armor. He's still being shady.
Well, actually, midway through audience's story, he left and he got up and left.
Okay. Can I try to intercept him and bump into him? I want to try to sleight a hand and see if he's got a coin on him.
All right. So are you trying to make it look like it's an accident, or?
Oh yeah.
All right. Well, that.
I'm just walking in front of him, not even paying attention, just bumping into him.
All right. So you're trying to make sure he believes you bump into him accidentally. So I'll give you a choice. You can either make performance or deception.
I can do deception because I'm proficient in that.
Okay.
17
17.
for deception.
So as he gets up and tries to leave in haste, you get up and are fairly confident that you were.
I'm so sorry, sir. I'm so sorry. You okay?
Yeah, sure.
Bump into you there.
Just be careful, kid. And he gives you a little pat on the head, and he keeps on going. You're a halfling, you.
Oh yeah.
It's probably not the first time someone says that to you.
It happens quite often. Sad to say.
Make your sleight of hand check. What did you want to?
Oh, nat 19 plus 8. So 26.
All right.
7.
27. Yeah. Numbers.
So what exactly were you trying to...
I was looking for the coin that came in with the letter.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, see if he had one. Because I'm kind of curious on... Because I just want to see what'll happen.
All right. So in a very thief in a crowd way, you just bump into him and give him a quick pat down, and as you're, oh, very sorry, sir, very sorry, and you just the purse on his mouth. No, there doesn't seem to. All right. So with what you rolled, you're confident that you weren't able to, of course, go through his backpack, but everything else you did feel through a pocket on his shirt. One was on his pants, trousers for those living in Europe. You, with the 27, you were able to notice that there was a hidden pocket inside of the rather large coin pouch that he had. It's large not because it was full, but because it was to give the impression that there's a lot of things like that. But you did manage to just slide your finger in it. Oh, there's a pocket. No, it's just a gold coin. With the exception of his backpack, you are convinced he does not have a letter and a coin. Unless it was very well hidden in the middle of his backpack.
Would I still be able to scarf his coin purse?
27, yes. In that case... so do you try to snatch it all, or just try and pick a few coin as your hand slips inside?
With that, I'm going for it all.
All of it? Alright.
All of it. Just the whole bag, just real quick. Oh.
Alright, so you manage to slip your hand near the buckle, and with something sharp hidden just under your thumb, just cut the letter holding the pouch and pockets it. So as soon as he leaves, you look inside the pouch and you find... Oh, he doesn't have a lot of gold. 3 gold.
Pays for the drinks.
13 silver. And... 28 copper. He isn't that rich, but for a peasant, it is extremely rich.
Oh, yeah. I'm satisfied. I'll head back to the table. While audience is still talking.
Alright, so as audience, you keep on going into your entire story. You see Eldon walking back to the table with a slight grin on his face. Fisher, you probably see this, as I don't think Eldon is trying to hide the fact that he just scored something.
Oh, God, no. No, I don't have to hide anything.
Alright.
I got sticky fingers. I won't lie.
Quite literally. You just put your finger inside your drink and you just...
Sticky.
Alright. So... there's not a lot of people that join this morning. You do get the impression that a few of them are simple merchant. You do see most likely a group of half-elf, but they're wearing commoners' clothes. So probably a group of merchant that just stayed there for the night.
Okay.
They don't seem to be extremely wealthy merchant, but they're merchant nonetheless. And you also get one orc that comes down the second floor. He seems to be not in any hurry. And especially when he arrives downstairs and he sees you, your group, talking to these dwarf, you do see him look at all of you and just go, "Ah, that was a good sleep."
Glad to hear it, sir. What's your name?
And are you saying this with the two dwarf just beside you?
Oh yeah. I'm not gonna make eye contact with him, but like, he's obviously making a ruckus for a reason.
I have had a very nice sleep. Was dreaming about my youth, hunting things that runs in the dark. Immediately you get the feeling that the dwarfs in front of you are looking at him very annoyed. And the mood just dies. You hear the dwarf that was wearing leather just say, well, I guess their simple presence is enough to make good ale go bad. I'm gonna leave. He leaves his drink there, gets up, and just leaves the inn. So you hear the orc go to the desk and well, if it's too strong for the dwarves, give me whatever they had. I'm sure I can stomach it.
Oh, I bought the fancy stuff.
He's going to take one. He really wants to annoy the dwarf. So, gives him whatever he has. Gives him a pint of what you took. Alright. Chuck it down in a single gulp. Oh, wow, alright. Well, I guess if that passes for drink for our small friends, I guess you haven't tasted anything was worth it. I think we use this to thin out paints. You know, the kind of red paint that we put in front of our dwellings. And he doesn't look at any of you except the dwarf when he says that.
Question.
Yes?
In the meantime, while all of that happens, I mean all of that,
Yep.
was I able to find my little friend and give her some water and food?
Yeah, fairly easily. She didn't try to hide or anything. When she saw you leave the inn with a pint of water, she got close, and you did feel a little tug on your sleeve at one point. So
Okay. So, after finishing that, probably at that time when that happened with the orc, I would come back into the inn.
all right. Well, you come back into the inn, and Eldon, Adian, and Fisher, you were there to see this degenerate at a very fast pace, with the orc throwing insults about dwarves, and the dwarf slowly losing his cool. And when you get inside the inn, you see the dwarf and the orc roughly a feet from one another, yelling insult. The dwarf with his with a hammer in his hand, and the orc with a very large cestus in one hand.
What?
A cestus. A cestus is a fist weapon. It can be as simple
Like
as
2 spikes?
no, well, some can have, but a cestus is a fist weapon that can be as simple as a cloth glove with reinforced knuckles, so you can hit someone, do extra damage without injuring your hand. But it can go to be something as full and complete as a full plate glove,
Wolverine claws.
reinforced to not take damage when you hit someone. So, and his is thick with a very dark metal, and since he's not wearing armor, there's a good chance that he has monk training.
I'm only a few minutes away and there's already about a fight going on here.
Don't look at us. We have nothing to do with this one.
Oh,
I can
you
put it.
sure don't have anything to do with this one.
Nope. He just came down and started insulting the dwarf. Not a smart idea with that big hammer of his, but.
So you hear them literally screaming insult at one another. Some of them are in Dwarvish, some of them are in Orcish, some of them are in Common.
We might want to back up a little bit. I'll get up and back up towards like the Dorish area and just watch.
Just as the two seems to be ready to go to blow with one another, you start hearing this little music inside the inn, very pleasant tune, and suddenly you see the two of them relaxing a bit and looking around, and you see the elven woman coming to the dwarf and the orc and say, "Please, mister, if you really want to settle your difference, go do this outside, so you do not kill someone inadvertently." The dwarf says,
Like me.
"Yeah, that's a good idea." And the orc just says the same thing with the same hazy reaction. "Yeah. Come on, I'm gonna kill you outside. Right back at you." And you see the two of them go outside and they just keep walking and walking and walking.
Well, that's interesting.
Question.
Yes.
I'll say that in Elvish to the elf.
Can I do a roll to see if she used the spell on them?
Well, that would be Arcana check if you'd like.
Yes, because I kind of have a feeling that was just charm person, but I'm not really sure. 17.
Yes, you do recognize that she did do a spell. Hold on if I can find the exact name. No. Here it is. Oh, wow. It is a bit far out of your sphere of knowledge, but you do have a feeling that she used something like a mass suggestion spell.
Okay. Interesting.
And seeing as a mass suggestion spell is a wisdom saving throw, and one looked to be a monk and the other one a priest.
They had no chance.
Well, monks and priests have wisdom in their main statistic, so it was
She's
a
powerful.
very strong spell. But after a few moments, you start hearing a ruckus outside.
I quickly go outside to see if my little friend is alright.
As best as you can tell, yeah. You can barely see where it's coming from, but from what you believe, they just kept on walking for 2 or 3 minutes until they got
Okay.
clear of all houses, and now they're going at it.
Then I go back in relief.
Well, this is what happens when you mix dwarves and orcs. To be honest, I'm hoping the dwarf wins. And she goes
I
back.
thought my race had problems.
And she goes back to her seat and keep on eating and drinking.
I'll sit down next to her and start talking to her in Elvish.
God.
Oh, she's going to answer in Elvish, of course.
So I can't understand it.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Impressive back there.
Well, I figured that you really can't prevent them from going at it. It was clear that the orc wanted to provoke the dwarf, and just like us, they have a bad history with orc. So, I figured, why prevent the inevitable? I just made sure that they wouldn't kill anyone else while settling their problems.
Just saying, it was mighty impressive. And I know audience talked to you earlier, but I hope you join us tomorrow on our trip north. And I'll walk away.
And just as you get up and walk away, she says, in Elvish, of course, "And what was the bet?"
If she heard about the bet.
No,
Okay.
she noticed you taking the money.
It was that he was going to be talking about his gods,
Oh.
his dragons. But apparently, something else occupied his mind. I can see exactly what.
I
The amount
would,
of beauty on you is extraordinary.
I would laugh so hard right now if she doesn't even have interest in guys. That would be so perfect. Like,
Can I?
Well, let's just say that for most race, elves are out of reach.
yeah.
That will not stop me. But me, I'm just being friendly with it. Like a playful flirting.
All right. Yeah, I know. I get it. The chivalrous flirting.
Yeah.
All right. Well, who knows? Maybe you win a different bet next time. I'm pretty sure that if he is as enthralled with his gods, like all followers of faith, he will eventually talk about it. Eventually.
Eventually.
But yes, I also had the impression that his god was not speaking through him, unless it is a god of fertility.
Agreed. But I wish you a pleasant day. And hope to see you soon.
I hope so as well. Then she lets you go.
Okay.
Alright, so if there is something else that any one of you would like to do, you can do it now, or we'll fast forward this to the evening performance.
Oh, I thought we were gonna say
Seeing
we're
as
gonna
this
do a
is-
break.
Oh yes, sure. We can also do that right now.
I thought you're gonna say that and not we're gonna pass.
No, but to be honest, the performance is just something for laughs and giggles.
visual.
It's just for a bit of roleplay, because after the performance, you're all leaving and there's not going to be much on the road. I've already rolled for it.
Well, audience might get a date. Who knows? We'll see.
It's gonna try.
I'm gonna-
I don't
I
think
might-
so.
I might have to help him along with it, but I'll try.
Oh, so
I
you
don't
try.
know. Audience is pretty
Oh,
charming.
so instead now of taking away her from him, you're gonna try not to be the wingman and then sneak her away from him.
Oh yeah. Oh no.
All right.
Eldon's not romantic. He
I'm
just
gonna assume
talk-
not, because this is a small town. But
Yeah.
could I go? You said there was like a trading
Yes.
market thing.
Yes, of course.
Yeah, I forgot about that.
Can I go look for a diamond?
Why?
Yes.
Oh god, the next person who is looking for a diamond.
Well, there are quite a few spells who needs diamond, depending on what you want to do and how much money you're willing to put in it.
Why don't you get a focus or something like I have? I don't have
can't
any
use a
problems.
focus.
Most spells that use diamonds have a value to it, so you can't replace them with a focus.
Well, I probably then don't have those spells.
Yes, of course. As everyone keeps talking and all of these events are happening, it is easy for you to just slip out and go see the merchant and make a perception roll.
Can I do investigation instead?
No, because you're trying to walk
Okay.
in the village, trying to figure out if you can see someone who will sell it.
Haha. Nat 1. 2.
Wow. So as you walk, you can literally see this construct walking down the street and looking left, and there's a merchant passing to his right with a diamond is in his hand, and when he looks right, it's gone, but he does that as he's passing in front of a stall of person that has literally all kind of gemstone and keeps on walking. So basically it takes you most of the day to figure out that you really don't have a good sense of orientation in small village.
He's getting lost and never finds the tavern again.
So
He feels like in a maze.
almost. I've seen this house before. Am I going
Have
in
I?
circle?
Also, I'm picturing this town as like 5 buildings.
Oh yes, a village.
That I'm
a
getting
village
lost
is
in.
usually that between 4 and 6 house held up together, and another 6 or 7 all throughout the fields around them. So you're basically running around a single marketplace and keep asking the very same person every time you go by. Hey kid, where can I buy this gem? Again, sir? I told you, it's just there. Yeah, thanks, kid. And you go again, and you come back. Where did you say it was? There. So, and for those who think that this is not possible, what I do for a living is giving food sample to people in grocery store. Yes, it is possible. It is extremely possible. I've seen far worse. So,
Like it's just right next to them and they're asking where is it and you're like, right next to you.
I'll have very interesting stories to tell you during the break if you want to. Alright, so you've managed, after maybe 2 or 3 hours of going around in circle and annoying this kid so much that he ends up just dragging you to in front of the stall. And you, with that roll, I'm not even gonna. Yes, there is a gem. I think we laughed at you enough with just that. There is a gem. There is a diamond
Great.
worth 50 gold.
Great April 1st.
Okay. Well, to save face, I'll go. Well, of course I knew this was here. This is not what I was looking for, and head back to the tavern.
Yes, of course, sir. As this kid is walking away, you can hear him say, "There must be problems with his arcane enchantment." And so, after a few hours, you see Fisher get back in the inn with a diamond in his hand as he pockets it.
The attitude of just don't ask.
And we're going to go for the break with this. Alright, so see you all in 10 minutes, everyone. Bye.
All right.
Hello. Alright, so the day keeps on going and pretty uneventful. You gather that most of the people inside the inn are either merchants or small adventurers. Everyone that you talk to is most likely the adventurers that were there, but unfortunately you didn't find anyone going north.
Okay.
So the evening goes on, and a lot of people are starting to gather inside the inn, as a performance from a bard was promised. So she gets back inside the inn. You see her go to her room. A few minutes after, she comes back down. She has what can be considered a classic instrument for bards. She has a lute, but it is an elven lute. Very beautiful in its crafting. And after a few moments, when everyone is gathered, she just starts playing. And the first one is extremely beautiful. Rolling a 34 performance roll. So she literally enthralls everyone inside the inn. You could hear, except for the music, you could hear a fly go by inside the room. But everyone just becomes quiet and listens, and you don't hear anything. It lasts maybe 10 minutes. And then she stops playing, and it takes a few moments for everyone to come out of their trance. They're sort of just... And slowly you hear a... Wow! And after a few moments, she just says, well, I'm gonna take a short break. You can talk among yourself. I will be back in 10 minutes.
I'll nudge audience. Go get her a drink.
Go get her a drink.
Yes.
All right.
Go.
All right. I will go, and I'll go. I will take the bard's advice.
All right.
Not the bard.
bard?
The rogues. Yeah, no, I'm thinking. I'm
rogue's
thinking.
advice.
My mind's on the bard.
Yes, I noticed.
Yeah,
Mine is
apparently.
just Elven Bard, Elven Bard, Elven Bard.
All right. So you nervously go buy a drink and you present it to her. How do you present this to her?
Um, I just, I walk up and I'll pass her a drink. I'll be like, your music was beautiful. You have quite a talent.
Well, thank you. And I noticed you listening quite intently.
Yes.
It pleases me to know that you liked it. I hope you're going to stay for the other representations. I still have planned a small story, and gonna end the evening with another musical performance.
Excellent. I'm looking forward to it.
And thank you for the drink. She takes the drink. She drinks it very slowly. Are you moving? Are you doing anything else? Are you
I'm
just...
Just standing there, just staring at her.
You're doing the teenage awkward thing in front of the girl that they like, and...
Yeah, I don't know. I guess I'll kind of head back after the drink. Kind of like I did my role.
All right.
Oh. I'm trying to like audience wouldn't be smart about this.
There's
that's all
so
right.
much.
I understand.
So much I have to teach you.
Oh, you're probably gonna get a chance. There's gonna be a lot of people at this gathering. He's probably gonna be interested in a few of them.
Oh yeah. Just get some practice in. Come on, you can do it.
If you need to get some practice with a bard. She's used to this.
Oh yeah. She might even give you hints and tips. It's like, no, this is how you approach it.
Very possible.
That would be so embarrassing though.
All right, so you go back to the table with this. How would a grin look on a Dragonborn?
Creepy,
Yeah.
toothy.
So you notice that the grin goes a little bit further back toward the end and goes up a little, as in, I did it. I talked to her.
Nice job.
So it takes a few.
I'm impressed.
It takes a few moments, and she starts a second performance. And this one is a story. I'd say probably the equivalent. Yes.
While that's going on, I'm going to scope out the room for the wealthiest people there, and do my thing.
All right. I'm gonna say make a stealth check.
With advantage?
Because of the bard.
Oh yeah, sure. Because of the bard, the crowd, take your pick.
Oh, that's a 27.
27. All right.
Yeah. Good, thank God for advantage, because the first one was a nat 1.
So
You're welcome, buddy.
Thank you.
You get up, and just as you start doing this, you stub your toe on a chair. But because she just started, no one notices, and you just keep on going, and everything goes well.
I am a ghost right now.
And
Okay.
you'll make a sleight of hand check.
I'm gonna try to pick as many people as possible of the higher standings.
Yeah, sure.
17. So that is a 26.
26. Oh, that's also very good. All right. So, you go from people to people. As she talk about the next story, which is a very noble story about an adventurer And at some point, she does look toward audience when she start describing the noble adventure.
Audience is now bubbling to himself. Bought her a drink. What next? What next? What next?
I'm coming back, I promise.
This is going great.
So she described this adventure about a noble hero coming from very humble beginnings, learning to fight and becoming slowly a legend around the world. All the while following the path laid out to him by a godly patron.
Audience, of course, because he's not aware of this stuff, is totally not aware that she might be singing about him, and so he's just like, I like this music, this is my jam. I'm into this. I don't know what to do, though.
I like the story. I like the character. I really identify with him. It's so cool.
Somebody point it out to him, please. I'm not there to do it.
So, it's still just a village. There's not that much, but you do manage.
I'm mainly aiming for the merchants,
Yeah.
none of the poor.
And because of that, you get, for all of your efforts... No, that's not it.
Someone is writing in the Twitch chat.
Cool, say hi.
Hello, Big Man T841.
Alright, so you get a 32 gold.
Rogue doing rogue things.
34 silver. And because you mostly go through richer pocket, only 12 copper.
I'm okay with that.
And so, again, the story that she tells is beautifully told, as she rolled only a single point lower than her previous roll. So...
You see audience weeping.
And actually,
And
we are having 9 viewers right now.
Oh, that's so cool.
Hello, everyone who is watching also and hasn't talked in the chat right now.
oh, that's so cool. Welcome to everyone here. So, you listen to this story and you feel so compelled. It's almost like she's talking about you. You know, it's so similar. You really feel compelled by the story. You hope you're gonna be something like that as you get older. And so the story ends. Everyone is again completely enthralled. It takes a few moments before they start reacting. But again, she receives a innovation. And she takes a few moments. She again goes back to the counter and asks for something to drink.
You see audience after that, like, he's like rising ovation, just like tears streaming down his face.
Doing the Dragonborn thing. Bravo! Bravo!
At this point, Aldon will come up and be like, man, no. You need to go talk to her. Get to know her. Her name. What's her name?
I do not know.
That's an important question to ask, don't you think?
You are right. I should learn her name. I'll go back to the box.
Find out about her. You can do this. Don't talk about you. It's all about her. Go get him,
talk.
Tiger. Go get her.
Go get her, tiger. I mean, dragon.
What's it?
Ask her social security number.
That comes later. I'll use that.
right, I'll head back. I'll head back to the bar.
And so you see this Dragonborn walking to the bar again to go and talk to the performing lady.
Okay, this time I won't buy her a drink. She's standing at the bar, right?
Yes, it's only a small break, so she's just drinking
Okay.
something.
Yeah, I'll come up. You can still see that I've been crying. Like, there are tears streaming up. I'm like, that was the most beautiful story I have ever heard. Please, I must know your name so that I can, in my tales, tell of the most amazing bard who told the story that brought me to such passion and emotion.
Oh, well, that is very kind of you. Of course. My name is Tialia, but most human eventually just calls me Tia. I believe it is because it sounds like one of their own names.
I gotta add her to my woman's notes. I now got 2 women.
He's slowly becoming a womanizer.
You know what?
I'm endorsing this.
Tialia. What was her shortened version?
Tia,
Tia.
she believes that it is a
yes.
common human name,
Tia.
so this is what human eventually calls her.
Alright. Tia for short.
Estia.
Alright.
Allah?
I am gonna at some
Tialia.
point organize my notes into Crush's list. Okay.
And eventually heartbreak.
Audience, the womanizer. What could go wrong?
He makes for a great distraction. I will give him that much. I enjoy
Right.
him.
I'll say, well, that is a beautiful name. Do you come up with these stories on the spot, or do you plan for them beforehand?
Oh, it's a mix of both. Sometimes they're improvised, sometimes they're not. As I said, I do a fair bit of adventuring. Some of them even have true elements.
I'll say, well, whatever your process is, it's incredible. I haven't felt this way since hearing the words of my master.
Oh,
Hasn't brought me to such passion.
and which master are you referring to?
Ah, you missed your chance, Dre. You should have extended the the bet.
Who knows? We'll get to that when you're done.
So, guys, who's betting now this time if you talk about dragons?
I'll say, my master.
She asked him. It's all fair. Because she knows what he's doing. That's the point. So she's redirecting.
My master. He is a dragon. If you did not know, I'll give a brief explanation of my religion about how I worship dragons as gods, and I'm trying to spread this religion around. And I'll say my master is one of these dragons who came to me and raised me in the village where I grew up, and told me to go out and spread this word.
That is a fascinating story. A very interesting one. I might even inspire myself from it.
Oh, boy.
I would hope that any part of me would inspire you.
And I can't help but to hope that in your head it is canon that audience stuttered like that when he just said it.
It might be canon. Who knows?
Oh, goodness.
Well, who knows? When the inspiration comes, I might. But for now, I have to go back. I still have one performance to do.
I I am looking forward to it.
She gives you a courteous bow, and she goes back to the center of the room and starts playing. And this one is a natural 20. So
Ooh.
the entire room, within a few moments of her starting, is literally moved to tears. It is a music filled with emotions, and you don't know why. You just feel those emotions inside of you stirring and just bursting out. And even for the most hardened of you, even for you, Fisher, you sort of are there and say, if I was human, would I be crying right now? It really forces you to...
My face seems to be malfunctioning.
Yeah,
There's some sort of liquid pouring.
Well, since the only part of you that moves is your jaw, you sort of see his jaw slowly slacking off, and at one point you're not sure if it unhinged.
Okay. Interesting.
And so the performance lasts, you're not sure how long, because it is so moving, you sort of lose track of time. And it takes you literally a few moments, a few minutes to realize at one point that it's over, and you just come out of your trance and, oh wow, you feel emotionally drained.
Just clap.
Great, now my character has even more homesickness.
And then you crush.
Dear God.
And so you see people. The last performance was so beautiful that the moment she gets up, you see peasant mechanically just reaching to their purse and throwing a few copper in front of her. Just like,
You see, and then you see audience just walk up, literally pull out his gold sack, pull out like 20 gold, and just literally like tears just streaming down his face, just like pour like 20 gold out of his hands.
Are you serious?
Oh,
Wait,
oh, audience.
that's about almost as much as I have. Are you crazy?
I just stole more than that right now, so I'm okay with it.
I have like 21 gold, like.
so as you look at this spectacle, you see peasants just throwing a few copper. You see a few copper, 1 silver, few copper, 1 silver, 20 gold.
Yeah.
I raise it 20 gold.
So
Is this an auction?
while they're doing that and they're distracted, I'm gonna take the 34 silver and the 12 copper. Oh, hold on.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm gonna be putting a lot of silver and copper back into the peasants' pockets.
All right. Make a sleight of hand check. I'd say with advantage because everyone is so moved that they're really not paying attention to anything.
Okay. 17 plus 8. So 26.
Easily. You just put money back in their pouch. At one point, you even get to a pouch exactly as someone reaches toward their pouch to throw it, and your hands touch, but that person is so enthralled, he just doesn't even notice it. He just takes his hand out and then put it back in and then throw the money. No one even noticed.
Okay.
And of course, when you give the 20 gold, audience, immediately you see Tia looks toward you and gives you a deep bow, whispers you a thank you in the wind, and tells everyone that this is it for tonight. And she's going to retire to her room. She might give another performance in the next night, but she's not sure. The wind will tell her if she stays or not for the next day.
We haven't even bought rooms yet.
Well, you still have a cart that you've
That'll
started to grow used to sleeping in.
Audience at the minute is stuck in a bow in response. He's bowed back and is like now stuck in that of not knowing when to rise.
Well, technically, we don't have a cart. Civ and Iselina have a cart.
That's a good point. I believe the one that
We don't
has the
even know where
highest
we are.
passive perception is Eldon.
It's still not me.
Yeah. I have a 12.
Oh no, that was I'm higher, or was it the wisdom?
Uh,
Yeah, I have 14.
You have 14. All right, then Valtteri. In the crowd, there was Civ and Iselina that were there. Because you have 14, you catch a glimpse of something a bit weird with Civ.
Oh no, he's also having a crush.
No,
on
no, no, no. But he remains stone-faced as he has been for all this time, while Iselina is praising this bard. You do get a glimpse of a flash of blue light around the arms of Civ. It is very faint. It comes from one of the place where his designed armor seems to end, so that near the joints. It is a flash of blue light that seems to be very fluid in its movement, and it disappears immediately after. It is the same blue light that his sword were made of, but the light didn't come from his wrist. It came from around the elbow articulation and the wrist, but under the arm, under the hand, not over it, where the swords came out. But it is faint.
What?
You just see this blue shimmer and disappear.
What do I have to roll to understand what the hell that was? Or what it has to mean?
I'd say I'd go for a... Alright, you can try Arcana.
Oh, okay. Hit! 19.
19. Although this is...
I'm too...
Although it is a very good roll,
I don't...
you have
pass it
no
probably.
idea what this could be, other than you can't help but to notice that it is the exact same blue color as his sword were made of.
What the hell? I lightly give Eldon a nudge and ask him if he also saw that right now, or if I'm going crazy.
You look at him, Eldon.
Saw what? Taking my fingers out of the peasant's pocket. Like, what?
Oh. Never mind.
Yeah, sorry.
I'll go to Sif and
Iselina.
Iselina. Oh, hello, you two. You're also still here?
You hear Iselina say, "Oh, of course, we weren't going to miss the representation from a bard. It is such a rare occasion."
How are you still staying here for the night, or are you gonna leave?
We'll be leaving tomorrow.
Could we sleep in your cart for this last night with you, or?
Well, yes, sure. You can sleep in the cart. I have a room here, so I won't be sleeping in the cart. I hope you can understand.
No problem. Sif, can I talk to you for a second?
His head turned in your direction.
Under 4 eyes.
Okay.
So,
He
really
leads you
the-
outside.
Okay. I just noticed when I was sitting over there that your elbow or something like in your joint was glowing blue.
He looks at his hand.
And I was-
Oh. Yes. He was moved by the performance.
Oh, so that means it shows when you have emotions when it glows there?
No. You see him raise his hand, and you see this strange, fluidic, but crystalline material forming around his hand, and it forms on his hand, taking on the shape, a rough shape of a small animal, just in its shape, as in it has 4 legs and some sort of appendage coming out of it. It looks like it's made out of crystal, but it moves as fluidly as water, sort of a bit of in a mechanic motion. You see behind you see it leave the joint, form, and the back of it just catches up with the rest, as if the crystal just ungrew and went back inside, and then the front grew again, and it made its way like this on the top of his hand. This is what you saw. His name is Krill.
He's cute. How does it work? Like, is it a creature or is it part of you or?
Both.
What creature is it?
I believe you are well versed in nature. It is the same as a benign parasite or a symbiote.
Oh, I see. And have you been living with him in this symbiote forever since you remember, or?
You see Krill go back inside the hand of Civ, and he lowers his hand and says, "He appeared with my first memory. He is different than his brothers, and most likely why it had a different effect on me."
How is he different?
I do not know. Neither does he.
Well, thank you for showing him to me. And sorry for the disturbance.
It is not a problem.
And I guess we go back inside.
All right. So eventually, audience, you sort of dare look up, and you sort of realize that most of the people are gone around you. Oh, I stayed bowed too long.
I'll kind of just do the thing, the awkward where I'm like, do a little shoulder roll and kind of walk away.
So everyone goes back to their room, and you have a very... Unless you try and interact with someone again, I'd say you all go back to your room, and for audience, Valtteri, Eldon, and Fisher, you go back to your comfortable cart.
I mean, I was about to ask the 3 of them if they want to get a room, or I asked Isalina, and we would also be able to sleep in her cart.
I could just rent us rooms, that's fine. Why sleep in a cart if we don't have to?
It would be cheaper. And I could be outside.
I don't know if cheaper really matters to me at this point. But let me go check out some rooms.
I'll kind of mutter something about what is money when love is involved, but I'm not really fully present.
So you're mumbling about.
Calm down, bro.
He's in his dream world.
I'm gonna have to have a talk with this boy.
It doesn't surprise me if you would already think of names for their children, to be honest.
He's already painting them. Oh God, it's horrible.
Well, if he's already thinking about children with her, that means he's probably thinking about having several wives.
Yeah.
All right, so
Only 2 as of now. Only 2. I only have 2.
only.
For now.
For now.
And many Dragonborn don't mate for life. So
Yeah. I mean, my family is an exception, but yeah.
well, in my world, because Dragonborn have been around for so long, a lot of them have noticed the difference in behavior from different dragons. But since most dragons really don't mate for life, it's only a small percentage of Dragonborn that actually took up this tradition of having one mate for one life.
It's actually only really the real ones the dragons who really have for life is the silver dragon.
The silver dragon, yes, but I believe there's another
And
one
the
that
gold
sometimes
dragons have a similar thing. I mean, the silver dragons even have something similar to wedding, but the gold dragons
So
are
for room,
close.
yeah, the cheapest room is 7 copper. This is a small village, so you could get a room of a slightly higher quality for 1 silver. But they really
Okay,
don't have anything higher than that.
I'm gonna go hang out in the cart. I'll see you guys in the morning.
So, Valtteri, you
okay.
see Fisher going out to the cart. You'd have someone as a companion for the night.
I also go to the cart. I don't like being for too long in a building with so many people inside.
Everybody's different. I get it.
But thank you for the offering to buy us rooms.
No problem. I'll get one for me and audience.
If he's not sneaking into the bard's room.
No. I'm gonna have a talk with him about that. Don't worry.
Audience wouldn't do that. That's not a paladin's way.
And besides, right now, he's probably so enthralled that he would think about it, go up to the door, and stay there until morning.
Just spend the whole night pacing back and
with
forth.
with his hand in front of the
just
door
like-
like this.
Like, should I knock or shouldn't? Should I knock or shouldn't? And she just opens the door in the morning and she's like, should I knock or shouldn't? Just
Oh yeah. You see Eldon just sitting there like with a bag of like peanuts or something, just sitting there, just eating and just watching him, just enthralled. But no. Don't worry. Oh.
So, Eldon, you buy a room for you and a room for audience. Audience, you are free to sleep in it or at the step of the door of the bard if you want to.
No, I will sleep in my own
All
room.
right.
I'll chat with audience as his way up, like telling him like, yeah. Doing things out of passion's great. Just don't like get like overly aggressive about it.
What does overly aggressive mean?
Too forward, like too in your face, like too showy.
And then, Eldon, you remember you're talking to a Dragonborn.
True.
I'll just stare at him and
Damn.
I'll be like, isn't a bard all about being showy? Wouldn't that impress her?
It depends on the person, I guess. Just read the situation.
Read the situation.
You're
like a
talking
battle?
to Dragonborn.
You can think of it that way, like you could think of it as like a fight, like you need to make strategic moves, not to push them away, but like not look overly aggressive to keep them close, right? You want to make them smile, you want to make them happy.
I am confused. What does happiness have to do with hacking someone apart with a longsword? I mean, it's happiness for me, but not normally for them.
Yeah, like also like hunting. Like you gotta take the slower approach to things at times. Can't just be all up and aggressive. You gotta slow it down. Take a few steps back. Let it happen naturally. Just inch your way forward.
I usually like to charge things. It usually works out.
And then you can't help but have this image of audience running after a bunny.
Oh, this is gonna be a fun adventure with you. You're gonna get in so much trouble. I like it.
All right.
I'll see you in the morning. Hopefully we see the elf as well, and she decides to join us.
Maybe I should write her a letter.
No. Just no.
Okay.
All right.
What would that
It-
letter even have in it?
Oh, I don't know, but I could easily ask audience to write this letter so I'd know.
I got a feeling he's already writing it.
The
no
letter
matter
would
what
have
I said.
something to do with that she didn't need to stay another night because I'd paid her so much, so now she should come travel with us.
Simple to the point.
Just a persuasive letter. I already paid for your services. You're coming with us.
This can only give the right impression, of course.
Oh yes.
I'm
No way to
paying you
stop it.
Come with us.
Yes. Yes. I will pay you. No. Please no.
All right, so the night goes well with Eldon thinking about all the incredible possibilities that this new friend of his has made. And audience, you mostly dream about Tialia. And also that monk.
Ooh.
Female monk.
Female monk.
Oh. Oh.
You
I
mean
thought you were
not
talking about the orc.
No, you were
The first
there,
crush
you
he had.
were- Yep. Ami Ale.
Okay.
They're in my crush list right now.
Where we also know that she has a coin.
We do.
Yeah, our old friend monk back then.
You could already tell my type: beautiful women that are way higher level than me.
Yes, audience.
Way much
Audience
stronger.
does seem to have a preference for women that are outside of his reach.
Like he's here, but he's aiming here.
Alright, so the
Oh.
night is a beautiful night. For Valtteri it is beautiful stars. For Fisher it is looking at Valtteri looking at the stars. For audience it is dreaming about beautiful women of his past and present. And for Eldon of all the nice possibilities this group is offering him.
So much fun.
And the night goes without a problem. You all wake up in the morning, refreshed, still with your mind full of beautiful images of nature and women, depending on who you ask.
Well, I guess my character also has a woman she can think of.
So then you think about stars and women also.
Well, one.
So I'll go get breakfast. Well, you know what? No. Audience? How about you go get breakfast for you and the lady?
Do you say that to me?
Yes.
I'll
In
say,
Storm's Valkyrie giving everyone a
I'll see if she's down there, but I don't know which room she is in, and that feels weird to ask.
No, you wait for her to come down.
So do you want me to go sit in the dining hall?
Just come with me, okay? I'll let you know when.
Okay.
Alright, so you go down and it doesn't take very long until you see her not coming down the stairs, but coming from outside.
Oh,
She
never
was
mind.
up before all of you.
Oh yeah, elves
I-
and sleep.
I turned to you. I'm like, do I still buy breakfast? What do I do?
No. Okay. Greet her calmly. Just see how she's doing. If
Calmly.
she had a good night. Calmly.
I understand. I understand calmly. I'll raise my arm and shout across the entire lunchroom. Good morning!
I think I already have the title for this episode.
The Dragonborn calmly, not rising. Just yelling across.
Probably something like
50 Shades of Audience.
no, probably like the mating ritual of the Dragonborn, something like that.
You, right now, just so people can see what's going on in Eldon's mind. He's seeing audience, us in some sort of sticky situation where we need to be quiet. And he sees a hot girl in his head or something, like an illusion, and just blows it for everybody.
Oh, you weren't there in our last stealthy situation. I already did that.
Oh, God.
We were trying to sneak into a goblin barricade, and I tried to sneak, failed, said, screw it, and sprinted in yelling for the dragons in front of everybody without giving them any warning.
Information, I was already inside as a wolf destroying all of the goblins.
Oh,
That
God.
was the only reason why everyone didn't attack audience. Because she had already started.
Oh, God.
Alright, so as you greet her,
Assault?
Shout at her.
oh yes, it's probably close to a battle cry.
That's just a loud greeting.
Greeting!
I will talk normally. In Elvish, would you like some coffee or tea?
She answers audience first because he talked first. It is always better polite to answer the first one who has talked. But she answers with her usual composed self. And greeting to you, oh Dragonborn champion. And she answers to you, Eldon. And greeting to you as well. Tea would be nice.
I don't understand any of the second half. So
Well, you don't understand it, but you look at Eldon turn around and ask for tea. So there's a clue.
I don't know. My brain's still stuck on the fact that she called me champion.
Why did I knew that?
Like champion.
I think Eldon's gonna have to figure a way to become like get telepathy so he can help out audience without anybody knowing.
All right, so
To be honest, even then I don't think it would work.
But hey, we could try.
So, the Tia, look at you, audience. I hope you had pleasant dreams with the stories I told and the music I played.
I did. You appeared in a few of them.
Oh,
Oh, no.
You were as beautiful in my dreams as you are in real life.
oh, that is very kind of you.
I can't.
We are losing audience's soul. He is laughing inside of him, rolling on the floor.
Oh. Eldon has just face palmed at this point. He's just done.
Watch it work, though.
That is very interesting. And since you are so forward about your pleasant dream, what, may I ask you, happened in those dreams?
Nothing much. Adventure, dalliance. I don't. Nope, that's not the word I wanted.
I had so many other pictures in my head right now.
Adventures, battle, more adventures.
Our two kids.
I don't say that. Not that dumb.
He's
Totally not.
learning.
Slowly, but he is.
A little bit. But still.
Wow, who knows? You might be cut out to be a bard one day.
I'll say I have given some great stories before. Actually, you know what? I'll pull out the drawing the Sharoons give me and show them to her and say, this was given to me after I told a story in one of the Sharoons' camps. I'll show her the drawing they gave me.
Oh, and she looks at it. It is very beautiful. Very well made. You could easily ask someone to reproduce this drawing and place it in a place where everyone can look at it.
I'll nod. I'll think about that. That would not be a bad idea for if I ever get a temple or something for my religion.
It is worthy of a mural.
Is at the point just trying to be like, teach me your ways. Turn me into a monk.
Eldon, you're the only one here presently. I'd say please roll a perception roll, and please don't roll a natural one.
15.
15. That's enough. I'd say you recognize all that she is saying as the extremely practiced hand of a bard, being polite but sincere.
But distant.
But for her, this is morning practice.
Hey man, you're gonna go up against something, you might as well lose to a bard. That's all I gotta say. I tried to help. Sorry.
He's giving up.
I'm just... He'll learn later. I promise.
Well, if you ever get to build this shrine of yours, I will come and watch. And at least listen to one of your sermons.
You would be most welcome. You would be an honored guest.
Then I will most likely listen to the wind, and if they ever tell me you have made this shrine, I will come. But unfortunately, yesterday, during the night, the wind told me that my place was west. And so I will be leaving later today.
My heart... No, I'm not gonna say that.
Le big oof.
Well,
I was just saying my heart will go with you. But I'm not gonna say
No.
You know what? Actually, I'm gonna make that canon. I'm gonna say audience starts to be like my heart, and then he kind of just stops, and we'll be like, "Nope, not gonna say that."
It was a pleasure meeting you and hearing your performance. I hope we meet again. Safe travels, and in Elvish, I'm gonna say thank you. Today was such a day.
She answers to you in Elvish and says, well, you're most welcome. And she turns toward you, audience, and say, till we meet again, I am sure we will one day. Probably not too far in the future.
I'll say till we meet again, and I'll bow again, and hold the bow way too long.
I'll nudge him and be like, come on, we gotta go. Let's get a move on.
And so Eldon and audience eventually come out of the inn, and Fisher and Valtteri, you see audience. You see Eldon holding audience's hand while he seems to be floating in a cloud, on a cloud.
Hey, you two lovebirds.
Just don't ask. Just don't
Actually,
ask.
if you want a
Like,
picture, it probably looks a bit like when Asterix is dragging Obelix by the hand right after he saw Falbala.
why am I holding his hand? I would
Because
not be
he's
holding
not
his hand.
moving otherwise.
Oh,
He's
oh,
still
I have to
bowing.
drag him. Okay.
Come on, you can do it.
Oh, come on, dude.
So
Being
are
drugged
we-
by a halfling.
So are we ready to go?
Yeah. Yeah. He
Should
is
I-
on cloud 9 right now.
Should I make us some good berries or?
Oh, that is up to you. We could either eat here or...
I look into the round if anyone is saying good berries or meal here.
Good berries is fine. Let's get on the road. We've been here for a little too long.
Then I'll make us 5 good berries.
Okay.
So you give one to Iselina before they leave, is that it? Alright.
1 to Iselina, 3 of us, and sneakily give 1 to my little friend.
Of course. So you say hello to your little friend and give her a good berry. And so, Siv and Iselina bid you both farewell. Iselina does invite you to come at her uncle's shop. Eldon already know the name of the city. She has talked about it a little bit. And
Sure.
you will always be welcome there.
It would be nice to see you again one time.
It will be nice for me as well. And so I bid you good travel, safe travel, and whatever your goal is, I hope you attain them. And Siv simply gives a respectful nod to each one of you before they leave.
I nod back.
See ya.
So, you see at Siv and Iselina, and in the case of Valtteri, Siv, Krill, and Iselina leave on their own way, and you keep on going north toward Crosshill. The day is disappointingly without event. And also, the skies are becoming a little bit gray. It feels like there's most likely going to be rain at the end of the day, if not beginning of the next one. It is those kind of clouds that just seem to be catching up to you, or rather, you are catching up to them. Yes.
Can I? Weird question. Insight the clouds for like omen-y type stuff.
Actually, this is more a nature check.
Wouldn't
I'm
that
not
be
per-
something
I
I
gotta-
should do?
You can if you want to.
I think I'll gotta do that instead of you, but
Go ahead.
sure.
Go ahead.
I'm going in.
It looks like a dog.
Unnatural 20.
Unnatural 20. Well, you actually start arguing with Eldon, saying, no, it's not a dog. Can't you see? It looks like a dragon.
Oh god.
Audience perks up and goes, "Where?"
So what do I see in the clouds?
Oh, it's Superman.
No,
It's a
but
dog. It's a plane. It's a bird.
It's a plane.
Something lands on your head. It's a bird.
But for you, Fisher, this is an interesting spectacle. You get to see 3 person, a tiefling, a halfling, and a dragonborn arguing about the shape of clouds. That's not something you've ever done before.
We're just so bored at this point.
Wait, so that's all I see with an unnatural 20.
No,
in the
actually,
clouds.
you do see very interesting shape, but with a nature check, you can also determine with not natural 20. You will most likely get to Grazil if you keep on the pace that you are about the same time as the rain is gonna start coming down. And the more you go forward during the day, the more you have a feeling that this is not gonna be a 1 or 2 hour rain. It's gonna last a little bit.
Well, guys, looks like when we get there, it's gonna rain a lot. To Grass Hill.
Hmm.
And that for a long time.
Water never really hurt anybody, did it?
And I think I just saw a wolf in the clouds.
No, that's a rabbit.
No, that's a wolf. Maybe
Rabbit.
Wolf chasing rabbit.
Audience will kind of sadly say, "If only it were a beautiful girl." And then kind of,
I think it looks like a blob.
Did you learn anything from her, audience?
It's not the first time he tried to flirt with a woman. Don't question him.
I'm not questioning him. I'm asking if he's learning.
I'm learning what love feels like, and then I'll continue to walk.
He's not learning.
No. He's not. But
Let's keep
we
up
have
the
to-
pace, or we don't get there dry.
I actually have to say that
we'll put a pep in her step.
audience, make a perception roll.
Oh dear God, no!
Make a perception roll.
Yeah.
Okay.
Don't see anything. Don't see anything. Don't see anything.
That's a 9.
9. Well, you are so enthralled with your visions of beautiful elves and beautiful silver-haired women that eventually Valtteri and Eldon, and also Fisher, has to flank you so you do not start tripping on every single rock or stray branches in the road, because you're just, oh, this looked like her hair. Oh, this,
Duck down.
Also because I was told I could possibly be a bard, you start to hear audience start trying to hum different tunes, not that well,
Come
about
on.
different women.
Oh my God! Why is this happening to us?
And then he'll look happy with himself when he hits a good note, like, yes.
If he only
It's all
would
coming
weigh,
together.
if he only would weigh less, I could carry him as a wolf. But no, he has to be a freaking heavy dragonborn.
And so the day goes by fairly uneventful, with the exception of a few arguments about the shape of clouds and about the shape of clouds that looks
Women.
like women. And Fisher, you do get to see this very odd behavior, because Valtteri and Eldon usually see animals, but for a reason that is starting to be obvious to you, audience only sees things that relates to women.
He sees a tree. It's a woman.
No, but he looks at one of
small piece of grass. It's a woman.
he looks at one of the cloud and this looks like Amiala's hair. Amialia's hair. It's silver like hers. Oh, this looks like Tia's face. Oh, this looks like the dress she was wearing during the performance.
Oh. Dragonborn, tell me more about your religion.
Why are you
Just-
doing this to me? Why?
Just change it up. I can't deal with this failure.
Believe me, you don't want to hear him
I'm
talk
gonna-
about dragons all the time.
Fisher's just gonna start walking faster.
I know what I did, and I'm just going to tune him out. Like, not even pay attention.
If he really starts talking about dragons, I'll go ahead with Fisher.
Audience, what do you do?
Audience, he'll start talking about dragons, but his
I'm
heart's
going.
not fully in it.
I'm going.
His mind is still on other things.
I leave the two of you. I'm gone.
I'm not paying
It is not his most inspired speech on dragons.
No, and for some reason, every once in a while, part of the dragon's body is compared to a woman's hair, or the way that the wings flows in the wind. It's like the dress of a beautiful maid. You know, it's sort of weird. All right.
Oh no.
You know, the tail of a dragon. Have you ever noticed that it looks a bit like the braid of a woman?
What?
Okay, brother. Hey, look, we're here.
Yes! And you arrive at this very small village, lost, just almost at the foot of a large mountain. It is very quiet. The skies have become very gray. It's mostly going to rain in the next 20-30 minutes, you'd say.
We should go get shelter.
The town,
Yeah.
it's almost dark. Because you went close to the side of the mountain, it did slow you down a little bit. So you're arriving in this village and the sun is starting to set. So you're a bit late for whatever activities, but you get the feeling that they did party a little. It's a...
Drunk people laying everywhere.
How many people do we see?
This late, you maybe cross a handful of people, maybe 10 people total, until you get to the inn where you see more people there. It has a feeling of being a very end of festivities day.
Do I notice any, like, roguish type people like I am?
Oh god, oh.
Just slumping around?
No, you don't notice anyone that feels a bit roguish. I'd say roll a perception check.
Please don't say there's another wonderful woman there. I don't need 3 in a row.
Nat 20.
Natural 20. Alright.
So that total would be 22.
When you get inside and you immediately start scanning the room, your eyes notice it is difficult to identify because its back is toward you when you notice him. But you notice this tall humanoid wearing a black cloak going up the stairs toward the room that are upstairs. Most likely a room from the inn.
Interesting. Okay.
Other than that, inside the inn, you mostly see peasant.
Kind of weird.
You mostly see peasant. You do see one orc sitting in a corner, very comfortable, and beside him there is a huge glaive with runes written on it.
What's a glaive?
A glaive. It's a sort of polearm. The extremity is similar to a sword. So depending on where in the world or what time or who draws it, the blade length can be as long as half of the polearm size to maybe just the size of a falchion placed at the end of a spear.
Okay.
He looks very comfortable, but also very aware of the room. Sort of like, I know it's in here. There's no problem.
Even when he sees us.
Oh, yes.
Cocky. Interesting. I like it.
You get the feeling that he's not here to stay the night, also. There's a sense of... It feels like he's ready to leave at a moment's notice.
Yeah. He's waiting for it too. Okay. I'd expect more people to be here, but interesting. Well, a lot more. But we shall see in the morning, shall we?
So, do you simply go and get a room?
It is up to the group. Would they like to sleep, eat, sleep?
This is the end of the day. It's probably the end of festivities. There doesn't seem to be anyone who's going to perform, other than this orc that is very hard to miss. There doesn't seem to be anyone of the adventuring type. Eldon, there is this mysterious person that you noticed just as you were entering, going up the stairs, but that's it.
And you aren't hungry because you said eat, sleep. Because
the
of the
good berries is still in effect.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's right.
I will go to sleep.
You're a bit thirsty.
I've had a long day.
Let's grab some rooms. I'll grab a drink or two, and then just I'll do my normal like routine with the. It's gonna be the drunk people, but like try to get as much information on this town as possible.
Okay.
You know, just like general overview.
Make an investigation.
To where like
right.
Yeah, so I'm not like completely lost.
Yeah, sure.
Natural 20.
Oh, well, that's very interesting. You learn a few things.
I like weird things.
Well, first of all, you learn that there has been a lot of adventures coming through this town, and you learned this from the innkeeper. So many in the last month that they actually converted a few rooms into, let's say, pricier rooms, because a lot of these adventurers seem to have a lot of money, and so they sort of felt that it could help to boost sale a little bit. So he does have a few rooms that are pricier. They go up to 5 silver. But in the last week, has been less and less. Feels like that whatever was happening is either already happened or everyone that needed to be there has reached their destination.
Oops.
But there's still a few. There's still a few odd one arriving in town, just staying for a night, all with the adventuring type, and they just keep going. Talking to a lot of people, you get the feeling that there has been a very large variety of people. Some people identify seeing monks, priests, warriors. A lot of people seem to be having problem identifying, making the difference between wizard, sorcerers, warlock, and priests. So you get a very mixed bag of it was that it was a warlock because of the thing that he kept carrying. There have been a few rangers.
Like commoners would know what a warlock is.
That's because they saw one where having a skull with him. They all assume that it's a warlock. Could be anything, but no, it's a warlock. There was a skull in his hand. I could see it. So you get the impression that there's a lot of people that came through here. Just from what you gathered, you'd say in the last month, they've been easily something near 30 or 40 adventurers that came by.
Okay.
And those are those that stayed here for a night.
And so it's very popular with adventurers, even ones not connected with this. Or either that, or we had we were given different time frames to show up.
That is something a little bit more.
Well, this isn't where it's taking place, right?
No, it's 5 miles out of Grass Hill.
Oh yeah, okay.
5 miles north.
So we still have. Yeah, so we have to
you
walk
have
there.
Maybe 2 hours of walk to get there.
Okay, so. Tomorrow by a tent.
Most of the people you ask don't know what you mean when asked about coins and things like that. Most people think you're talking about how rich they were, and so some people say, "Oh, some look very rich, some look very poor." You get a few people, 2 or 3, that say, "Well, it did feel like they had a different coin in their hand." One says, "Oh, there was one that had a coin dangling from his neck, sort of a medallion. It was very weird." And but there are very few people who actually notice this. So you get the impression that either it was something else, or most people who get this coin don't broadcast it.
Oh yeah. Well, even knowing how rich they look helps too. So, interesting. Neat.
And you, because of what happened recently, your attention is immediately caught when you hear that an extremely famous bard, a woman elf coming from another island chain, was seen in this town. Everyone was so disappointed when she didn't stay for the night. She just arrived and kept on going. But she is famous worldwide. Kings. You've even heard, because of your connection to the underworld, you've even seen bounties about this elven woman to bring her to a certain lord, alive, untouched, and the sums were really high.
I got a rival. All right, I gotta break some fools.
Well,
Don't think that was the woman we just saw in the other town.
befriend, convince her to go on one of these and be like, "Yo, just so we can get paid, do this show. We will protect you during the entire thing." Yeah, I can make some. Yeah, good way to make some money.
Okay, so oh, and then I'd have dirt. I have dirt on these nobles. Okay, cool. If I could figure out who contracted them, neat. Okay, I'm good.
So this
I'll
is
go to
what a
sleep
natural
now.
20 gives you for information.
I like it.
I would have asked about the guy with the cloak, but sure.
He would be very conscious about not leaving a trail.
You absolutely didn't get a single information about him, with the exception that he arrived today. That's
Yep.
it.
Yeah.
People are not even
Same thing.
people are not even consistent in what race he is. Some people say human, some
Exactly.
people say elf, half elf. You even heard someone call him a half orc.
Would I be aware of his skill sets, of like what type of person he is? Like, you know, how I'm the one with the sticky fingers. Is he more of the silent stabby in the night kind?
I'd say no, not
Okay.
stabby in the night kind with grubby fingers, but silent, not in town.
Okay. Cool. All right. I'm happy.
All right. So, you are in the town of Grazil. We are 15 minutes over our normal time limit. I don't mind
Sorry.
playing through... No, that's all right. I don't mind playing through the night and ending as you all wake up in the morning to keep on going. Or if you really want to do something in the night before everything happens, I can give you a week to think about it, and we're going to end this there.
All right.
So, which do you want? Is there something that you'd like to do before the night, or do we jump to the next morning and we end this there?
I think everything. I'm good at least.
Yeah.
Same.
Jump to the next morning.
Okay. So, the night goes very easily. Eldon, rooms, what do you buy? Unless people want to
I'm
buy the
paying
room.
again. Yeah.
Like I said, there's 3 levels of rooms this time. You get the really bad room that most peasants will buy, which is 7 copper. There is the usual better room for villagers, which is 1 silver. And the improvised high quality room of this inn, which are 5 silver.
Yeah. And I already checked your all's wallet. You can at least afford a room for a night. I'm gonna. The cheapest one was how much?
It's
7 copper.
yeah, 7 copper,
7 copper.
1 silver, and
5 silver.
Yeah, I'll take the 7 copper.
Same.
I'll take the 1 silver.
okay.
I'll
Why?
just pick a chair in the corner.
And he just picks a chair in the corner, and he's creepily going to stay there throughout the night.
Why can't we be friends?
So I give 1 silver and get 3 copper back?
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
Right. While we're talking about money,
Yes.
totally forgot about this when it happened. But when I was super lost looking for that diamond, and then you said I got it, I don't actually have enough money to have got it.
You didn't. So,
Well, I was gonna go see if there was one, and then come back and ask Mr. Moneybags if I could borrow some.
who is money bags for you? Because I know who has the money bags, And there's who
Yeah,
you think
I-
has the
also
bag.
The paladin who dumped a bunch of gold earlier.
Yeah, but you bought this before he dumped a whole bunch of gold.
I guess that makes sense. But yeah, just ask whoever in the party if
I don't.
they'd borrow some.
How
Like,
much are the diamonds? 300 or 100?
It's
50
it's
was
50.
It's 50 gold, and I believe you already have
I
part of
need
the
it to
sum.
cast one of my spells.
How much
I-
do you have?
I have
21 gold, 30 silver, and
Yeah.
33 copper.
24
Ah.
effectively.
So when I dumped 20 gold, that was your entire purse. I just
Yes.
dumped out casually.
same for me almost. Like,
I could have made that. I could grab that for you probably pretty easily. Just a little distraction.
well,
just
he
disappear.
Never got
Because
us.
there
He
were
never
because
got
it
us.
was an entire day, and it's just something that you forgot because you were caught up in all these shenanigans. I will allow you, if you want, to just retcon this and say, do you want to ask help for someone either to pay, steal, or both? It seems you have a choice.
Yeah, I'll just
You can't ask me. I will.
ask for the gold.
Even if I would give you
Who do
all
you
my
ask?
money, it wouldn't be enough.
Me?
Yeah, I'll ask audience.
The rich man in our group.
Audience will
Or
offer.
actually, I'll ask the group. I'll be like, so, I'm a little short on cash right now,
So am
audience
I.
will offer.
and I need a diamond to be able to cast one of my spells.
Oh boy.
I thought you were a fighter.
I am a fighter.
But you have magic.
Yes.
He's a magical fighter.
Okay, so, how badly do you need this?
I need it to be able to cast one of my 3 spells.
That's
What time of
I
day was
need-
it? What was it, like noonish, like busy part of day?
Second half of the
It
day.
was when I started looking for the
Yeah,
shop.
it's by the time he found it and came to ask for help, it was second half of the day.
Yeah. I'll sneak out and I'll just take care of this.
He fails.
All right, make a. So, how do you want to seal this? Distracting the
Okay.
person,
So,
hiding from the
Oh, yeah.
person.
yeah. I'm grabbing audience. Audience, I'm grabbing a box. Follow me. Setting it down near the merchants.
Oh, he's going for that again.
Preach, brother. Preach.
I will preach. I will always preach.
Before they leave, I like pat audience on the shoulder and give him guidance.
It's not gonna last long enough.
Oh, okay, then I follow, and before he gets onto the box, I pat him on the shoulder and give him guidance.
There you go.
Make
he
a
preaches.
performance roll.
With a
Alright.
D4 included.
Alright, so that is +2. And then it's a d4. So I rolled a 10. I was distracted that day, as we know.
Yeah, he'd been thinking about this elven woman all day, what to say to her. So Eldon,
He
you...
started preaching about the woman.
Yep. Comparing them to dragons to women as well. It's just getting weird.
So
Well, that
Eldon,
happens,
unfortunately, I will not give you advantage on your stealth roll.
While I
It's
watch
okay.
him, I'll pat Eldon on the shoulder and give him guidance.
16 plus 8
With a
is
D4.
that.
She gave you a pat on the back for your stealth. So with your stealth, you can add a d4, but not with your sleight of
Okay.
hand.
Okay, that's fine.
Math.
Yeah,
Math at 2 a.m., yeah.
14,
Well, it's almost 8 a.m.
24 plus 3, 27.
Yeah.
Yes.
Math.
So that's for your stealth.
Yep, that was for my stealth.
All right. You are confident.
Very stealthy.
You're confident no one is seeing you. So make your sleight of hand
Okay.
check.
Oh, that hit something that it shouldn't have. 14 plus 8. 22.
You walk out of this with a 50 gold worth diamond in your hand. And no one noticed you with a 9.
Can I grab like 3 of them?
How much did you get?
While you're there.
In
22.
total, it was a 22.
22. All right. So it's
14 plus 8.
it's a merchant
Yeah,
that
so
sells
22.
a variety of gems. So do you want to pick specific ones, or do you take the diamond because he asked for one and you just grab a few like this and go away?
You're in a donut shop now, so just pick what you want.
He said he wanted a chocolate donut, and then
Yep.
the rest you
If
can
you want to.
pick whatever you
I
want.
want one too.
I'm going to grab like the more rare looking gems,
All right.
but I'm gonna grab them strategically but fast, like and gone.
All right.
As many as I possibly can grab.
All right. So you managed to grab 5 random gem. I will tell you what they are during the week because we're gonna
Okay.
end this right after this. I will tell you which one they are. So you grab 5 gem plus the diamond for your friend.
And I give him his diamond.
All right. It was one of the priciest that this one have. So don't get big ideas. You're not gonna get 500 golds out of this.
Oh no. And
All right.
the Eldon doesn't keep the money that he steals either way.
Yeah.
It's gonna get redistributed eventually.
All right. So I will tell you during the week what were the 5 gems.
Okay.
All right. So and we go back to where we were, and this is even more interesting knowing that your bard friend probably heard you preaching throughout the day. This makes it even more interesting when you look at how she reacted.
Oh yeah.
All right. So
And we're still having 7 viewers.
all right. Well, thank you for all who have stayed up to this point. The party has finally reached the town of Grazil. They have slept a good night, and this is the morning. They are ready to make the final few hour stretch of walk to the garden. They can almost smell it. As you wake up, however, it is raining. It is not a heavy rain, more like a very, very gentle drizzle.
I stole a lot of stuff this game.
You rolled very well with your sleight of hand. I don't think you have rolled a single time under 20 with your sleight of hand tonight.
Well, if I didn't have advantage, that would have been wrong.
It happens.
It would have been very wrong.
Well,
All right, so thank you for all who have watched. It is a pleasure to have had you with us throughout the night. We hope we'll see you again next Wednesday as the party discover what this gathering and this garden is.
and don't forget, we have a YouTube channel if you want to watch a few old episodes of us fooling around.
There
Maybe
has been a
subscribe.
few, yes. So yes,
Follow us here on Twitch so you can see whenever we are going to stream. We have Patreon, we have Twitter. Maybe give a few donations would help our lovely DM.
Yes, as I've said, I have learned this week that I will not be working before June again.
So yeah, that would help him a lot, and maybe Write us on Twitter.
Yeah.
We will also be
If
there.
you want to write to a specific player on the overlay, each one has contact information. If you want to write us to the entire group, there is an email address below. If you're watching this on Twitter, not on Twitter, but on Twitch, there is a email address. And since the last episode, I have also started to add the email address in the description if you're watching this on YouTube. So, have a good night.
We will
Yes?
Yeah.
we will
Night,
be
everybody.
back next week.
Yeah, next Wednesday. Have a good night. Stay safe and healthy.
Yeah.
Bye-bye.
Stay inside.
Don't risk your life in the
Don't go
meantime.
outside. People
We
are crazy.
still need you.
People are
Have a
weird.
nice week.
Don't do it.
Bye.
See ya.
Bye.